Hello, friends. We'll start with a chant. Maybe more people will dribble in, and then we'll begin with a prayer in about 5 to 8 minutes. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's meditate briefly for a couple of minutes now. Prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, beloved God, great Gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, Paramhansa Yogananda, Saints of all religions, dear friend and guide Swamiji, thank you for holding us in your light, guiding us every step of the way on this beautiful journey of life. Thank you for the gift of spiritual community, the friendship we share with each other. Open our hearts that we may feel your living presence, your unconditional love, and be lifted in your vibration. Reveal yourself. Be always with us. Om Shanti Shanti. Good evening, friends. Thank you all for joining us this wonderful evening. We will start with a brief slideshow of some pictures, and then you will get to hear more from us. Lakshmi, maybe I'll just come over there if there will be no feedback, and I'll also can, well, why don't you, I can just stand here, but I think you'll have to get the room lights off. I'll just share in case the pictures are not obvious, if I don't know if the captions are going to come or not. If you all want to come also, you can see. We will get there. So you know what they're looking at. So we started in Kolkata. That's where we all landed. Can keep moving. And there are a lot of scenes of shopping, as you can see. Very important. You always do it in the beginning of the pilgrimage. So now this is what's called the Tulsi Bose Shrine. For those of you that don't know, this is a house where Master meditated throughout his boyhood, and it was the house of his close friend. This tiger skin that you see here was one that actually Master used for meditation. The trident that you saw was given by Babaji to Lahiri Mahasaya. That bed was where Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri used to sleep. It came from the Serampore ashram. And now it's in this. This house is actually owned by Ananda for the last many years now. This is a trident I was mentioning, which was given by Babaji. So we had just one day of satsang in that house. After that, we were going to come back to Kolkata later on in the trip. We just did an orientation here, and then we were back to the airport. And the first place we went to was Puri. This was a... Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. And so this is at the Puri airport. This was the only group photo with everybody in the group, I think. We were about 25 to 28 people. This was the resort where we stayed in Puri. It was very comfortable and beautiful. It was facing the ocean. And we got to do yoga, meditation on the beach every morning that we were there. So this temple that you're seeing is the Samadhi Mandir of Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri. So he had an ashram in Puri, as you all know. The ashram was very small compared to Serampore, but after his passing, Master commissioned his brother to build this temple with Yukteswar's body buried inside. So that's primarily where we meditate when we go to Puri. The Shiva Lingam is exactly placed on Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri's head. We went here multiple times because we had 3 days in Puri, so we got to meditate at different parts in this ashram. Yeah, oh yeah, we also were joined by a large group of Italians in Puri. So you don't see, Arudra, Mahia, Anand, Kirtani, all of them were there in Puri with us. You don't see them in the pictures, but we intersected with them at different times. This is just a meditation temple that was built later on. So this room that you see here, fascinating. I've been to this ashram many times. I didn't know this before. This was Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri's room. So this section of the building is actually from the 1920s, 1930s. So I mean, no, you can't go inside. It's all falling apart. They have not done anything. I don't know what they plan to do. Everything is kept under lock and key. There are many rooms. Those were all part of the original ashram. They're all still there, where he used to live, meditate, sleep. So you see, this was actually facing the ocean, this platform over here. In the next picture, you will see what it looks like right now. So this is the platform on which Master was sitting. Generally, these parts of the ashram are closed. You can't go there. We just sneaked in and caught some pictures. So this now is a different ashram. It's the ashram of a man named Bhupendranath Sanyal. He was a very close disciple of Lahiri Mahasaya. He came to Lahiri Mahasaya when he was very young, and he was a householder disciple. He was, Master refers to multiple times in the autobiography of a yogi. Master used to read books written by him. So he had his primary ashram in Puri also. And Lahiri's ashes, when Lahiri was cremated, were divided into 3 parts. One of the parts is in this temple here that was given to Bhupendranath Sanyal. Yeah, this is also in Puri, very close to the Karar ashram, Sri Yukteswar's ashram. Yeah, that temple where you see is where Lahiri's ashes are enshrined. This is actually Karar ashram. The photos. This was his room, his bed. This was Sanyal Mahasaya. It was shockingly hot for January. So this, we didn't have a lot of pictures of. This is actually the ashram of a great yogi named Totapuri, who was one of the gurus of Ramakrishna, who was an avatar himself. This was actually a very special place. It's in a forested area in Puri, and some of us went very early in the morning. That's when this photo was taken, but the whole group went during the day. We also meditated there, and it was actually quite powerful. His body is also inside that temple. It's buried inside. This is the Jagannath temple. So this is actually in Bhubaneswar. So maybe some of us will share. I won't go into all the details. After Puri, we had Divine Mother take charge of our itinerary. Our flights to Varanasi were cancelled. So we had to make some change of plans. We stayed one night in a town called Bhubaneswar, and there we did some sightseeing. That's where this is from. And then we had to take a bus to Kolkata. And eventually we reached Varanasi. This is Varanasi. This is the Ganges River in Varanasi. This is very early in the morning. It so happened that because of Kumbh Mela, the whole place was so crowded, we ended up not even going by road much. We were just taking the boat everywhere. Boat was our primary mode of transportation to get anywhere from anywhere in the city. It was beautiful being on the river. This was just an early morning boat ride that we did, kirtan, meditation on the river. So Daya and Keshava were with us from Delhi. They were with us for most of the trip, except for the last few days in Kolkata. They also joined us. Yeah, so the whole city of Varanasi, it is built on the banks of the Ganges. So all those steps that you see there, they're all called ghats. So the city is actually not very big. The traditional definition of the city is only about, I think, 10 kilometers or 7 or 8 miles. And the whole, everything that you see there, all those temples, all those steps descending into the Ganges, they're all thousands of years old. And so a large part of experiencing Varanasi is actually being able to be present in those ghats, being able to see them. I mean, when we were there, just as I was mentioning, because of the Kumbh Mela, the crowds were a little bit much, so we couldn't actually walk a lot on the ghats. Mostly we experienced it from the boats. All of you must know the Dashashwamedh Ghat. That's where it's one of the most popular ones, which is where Mataji is still meditating under a rock somewhere. It'll be very hard for you to believe when you're there because there's only 1 million people, even at 2 a.m. in the morning. But they're so sacred. They have been around and worshipped, and people have been meditating there for thousands of years. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's just when you're there, you don't realize how quaint and ancient all of it is. And actually what you see there is the Dashashwamedh Ghat. You can see that's the most crowded place. It's very hard to actually be there or get down. When we were there, it was just extra crowded also. So we just generally spent time. We went close with the boat, but we wouldn't get down. Tralinga Swami's ashram is right by the Ganges. All the stories we hear in the autobiography of a yogi. There's so many more stories when you go there with miracles that he performed. Anandamayi Ma had an ashram right on the banks. Again, she spent a lot of time, a majority of the last 15, 20 years of her life, she spent in this ashram in Varanasi. It's a very beautiful place, just overlooking the river.
The funeral guards also.
Yeah, I think they will come probably in the photos. Oh, there you go. Varanasi is the city of death, city of liberation. So, these funeral pyres have been burning again for hundreds, thousands of years. There's no stigma around death. You will see dead bodies and death everywhere in Varanasi. Somehow, it's just sacred. They're constantly burning. There'll always be fire. This is the ashram of Trilinga Swami. This is his idol. This is Anandamayi Ma's ashram, again overlooking the Ganges. Beautiful, beautiful ashram. Yeah. I think this was, we were watching the evening Aarti. This was a mini Aarti. The really big ones are impossible to get close to. Especially the time when we were there were just millions and millions. We again did a ceremony there. We did a fire ceremony by the Ganges, and we did prayers with those lamps that you float on the river. Oh, this is the door of Lahiri Mahasaya's house. You don't go into this door. It opens only once a year. This is where, everything, all the rooms where he lived, the house is pretty much exactly the way it was when Lahiri lived there. So you just get to sit on that lane. It's a wide-angle photo. It's very narrow. That place, when you're there, it's very hard to spend time there. But of course, we briefly meditated, chanted. And this is actually called Satyalok. You can keep going there. There are more photos of this. This is the house where Lahiri's family moved in the last 100 years or so, when they moved away from that original home. So the three statues that you see there, that is Lahiri, and the one that is elevated is his son, the one to his right is his grandson, the photo of the person that you see below him is his great-grandson, Shubhendu. Shubhendu just left his body in, just like 3 months or 4 months ago, fall of last year, Shubhendu passed away. He used to live there. This was, their family residence. I don't know if he had children or who lives there now, but I'm sure somebody's in charge. This is all in that same place. It's a meditation temple in that residence where Lahiri's family lives. Some of us got to take a dip in the Ganges. Our time got severely reduced because of the flight cancellations and such. So we couldn't do everything that was in the plan, but some of us did get to take a dip. This was just at our hotel. This was at the airport, Varanasi airport. We had a satsang there. The first time Ananda choir performed in Varanasi airport in history. So now we are in Kolkata. We have done Puri, Varanasi, now we are back in Kolkata. This place that you're seeing is a very sacred place. It's where Ramakrishna spent the last 8 months of his life and he left his body. This tree, this exact spot, he revealed his true nature to a very small set of disciples. And he gave them liberation almost. So that whole event is honored and celebrated even today. And the whole place is actually quite deep and very powerful. But this tree is where there is an incident where he revealed his consciousness to some of his close disciples. And that is his bedroom where he left his body. You cannot go inside, but you can meditate outside. That's his bedroom. Now, this is 4 Gurpar Road. This is the house of the Master's boyhood home. You can see Sarita Ghosh in the center. She is the wife of Somnath, who is the grandson of Master's brother. So Master's grand-nephew's family lives there. And they are extremely gracious. We spent 4 or 5 hours at their home. It was beautiful. There's the attic room where Master had many of his samadhi experiences. There's the room where Babaji came to Master before he left for the US. You can see all the stories, they all fall into place when you're there. They were very gracious. And in fact, they brought food that was cooked by the grandson of Vishnu Ghosh, Anjali's children. They had made food for us. They weren't there physically, but we got to almost be with all of Master's male siblings' families that way this time. Now we are in Serampore. Serampore, as all of you know, it's about an hour and a half from Kolkata, 2 hours with traffic. This temple is built in the grounds of where Yukteswar's hermitage was. That building is no longer there. This is the room of levitating saints. The photos are not in order. This is 4 Gurpar Road. I think the photos got messed up a little bit. This is Somnath telling stories. This is 4 Gurpar Road. Somnath is sharing stories. Oh my goodness. The photos are really out of order. I'm sorry. This is the Serampore. So this small piece of land is what YSS first acquired, when they got Sri Yukteswar's hermitage, and they cleared the land and they built a small meditation temple. Now they have acquired a lot more of the original land. So this is the temple that's there. That man that you see meditating with us in the center, he is Ishan Ghosh. He is the great-grandson of Ananta, who was Master's elder brother. So his family lives in Serampore. Master asked Ananta's son Ramakrishna, he married Ramakrishna, and he asked Ramakrishna to move to Serampore. So they have sort of taken that as their direction from Master. So they continue to live in Serampore, even today. He sort of was very gracious, very sweet. He took us all around Serampore, showed many places. So if you can pause on this picture. So this property here is what YSS recently purchased. Ananda was also trying to purchase it. It was bought at an absolutely outrageous price. You see over there those rooms. Sri Yukteswar's hermitage originally had 37 rooms. So it was like a big place where people, guests, students would often come and stay. The hermitage, it was a sprawling property. It included many acres. Most of it is constructed into apartments and new buildings now. This was recently purchased. They say that this is not the original building. This was sort of renovated, original building, but they kept the foundation and the pillars of the original building. So this represents the actual model of what existed during Yukteswar's time, even though the bricks are not from Yukteswar's time. But this actually represents what the ashram looked like. YSS has now purchased tons of property in Serampore. This is just one of them. They're going to recreate Yukteswar's hermitage. They have a lot of video footage from Richard Wright also of how the place looked like. So they're going to try to recreate the hermitage as much as possible the way it looked during Sri Yukteswar's time. So this is the banyan tree in Raighat where Babaji appeared to Sri Yukteswar. This is by the banks of the Ganges where Master and Yukteswar used to walk. So this is the house of Master's uncle. Master had a room there. He stayed there. Master went to college in Serampore, so he used to stay there a lot. He stayed with Yukteswar too, but then he had a lot of places in Serampore where he stayed. This is actually a bank right now, but interestingly, believe it or not, this is the original building of the boarding house of the Serampore College. So Master stayed here for a year. And although it doesn't look like it, Ishan was telling us that this building is actually the original building from the early 1900s. They have just sort of redone it from the outside, and now it's a bank. So we spent time with Durlab. Durlab is Ananta's grandson. Then we went to their home. Again, they were just very, very gracious and welcoming, and we spent a lot of time with them and their family, hearing stories. Yeah, that's Ishan. That's Ishan's mother. Durlab, Ananta's grandson, is standing behind him. This is their home. They have a very small home in Serampore. Yeah, the man to the extreme right is Durlab Ghosh. Durlab Ghosh is the grandson of Ananta. Ananta's son is Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna's son is Durlab. This is what you can't really clearly see what this is. This is a ceramic idol of Kali that belonged to Master. Master's mother bought it for him when Master was 5 years old. And Master had this on his study table throughout his schooling and college years. And that was inherited by Ananta's family later on. That is Ishan's son. Now this is actually the Dakshineswar temple. Photos are not allowed inside the temple, so you'll just see a few pictures from the outside. You always offer hibiscus flowers when you go. Now this is the house and the convent of Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa in Kolkata. This is her tomb. It was a surprisingly powerful place, actually. This is Ramakrishna's bedroom in the Dakshineswar temple. That's where he lived. Great. we can all come back here. So what we'll do now, we'll start with Evelyn. So before I say anything else, I'll have everybody share anything they would like to, anything that was uplifting, touching, inspiring, transforming for them. Whatever you wish to share.
Wow, so much, right? You just took
It's
me
hard
back.
to summarize.
First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to Saganesh. Thank you again. I mean, you were so gracious and always taking care of us. And there was many miracles that occurred during pilgrimage, and Saganesh was right there, and Shavindra just making things happen. What's going to stay with me are the miracles. Every day we had more than one, and they just kept coming. And I felt like God and Divine Mother and Masters, the Master and all our masters were telling us, we're right here with you. No matter what happens, we're right here with you. And even when we are on a bus that was supposed to be 7 hours and it turned into 14, but it was a bus that had beds, so we got to take naps and rest. So that's what stays with me is the miracles, the moments where we were rushing from one place, the streets to walk in India. It's an experience. And all of a sudden you will enter this beautiful, holy place, and it was as if everything just got very quiet, and you knew you were in the presence of something you had never experienced before. And I would feel so much love and joy, it would overwhelm me. So what stayed with me was all those moments of love, all those little miracles that happened, all the ways that we were shown that we are blessed to have this path, that we are blessed to have God and Divine Mother in our lives. And I am so thankful. That will forever stay with me. When we went to see where Mother Teresa was, I started crying because it was just so much love. I couldn't contain it anymore. That was towards the end of the trip, and it had been building and building, and I just couldn't. So for me, I felt like Master was saying, hey, you're here with your Kriyabans. You have all these tools. You have Kriya. You have the Samadhi poem. And you have my poem, my India. And it truly felt like he was walking with us at all times saying, look, this is what I wanted to share with you. This is what I wanted to bring. And so for me, all those moments of where I would turn around and say, I just came from a very busy street, but I can't hear them anymore. I can't connect to that because I'm someplace else. That's what's going to stay with me. And I pray that even it's just my little fingertip that can touch those moments again, that will keep me going for a very, very long time. So thank you all. It was an amazing journey.
Okay, when I come in amazing, and still every night I still dreaming about being in India, either one way or the other. This was amazing. It was my first time in India, but I can't believe it how I didn't see anybody, or even it was a little chaos and driving, going, but I didn't hear anybody fighting or screaming because somebody crossed. It was, I can't believe it. It wouldn't happen in the United States. No, but it was amazing how blessed is India. And of course, what I said is because there is so many avatars in there, you feel it in there. So I wanted to say to Sai Ganesh and all of you, thank you. I mean, I needed so much help from them to give me the hand. Like he hold my hand going up on the stairs and come down. It was amazing. If I wouldn't be for them all, I couldn't enjoy so much, And also So I'm really blessed. And I wanted to take opportunity to say to my husband Jay, thank you for giving this opportunity to go to India. I love you all, and I'm so blessed, and I hope I can go back.
I want to say, right after we landed, Aminta sent us pictures of her 80th birthday celebrations. You should have been in India to see. She had the maximum energy of anybody every morning. We never experienced, she was an inspiration for all of us because the amount of enthusiasm and energy she brought, and she needed a hand here and there, but really you couldn't tell at all that she was going to celebrate her 80th birthday.
Well, thank you, Tayanat, for the saying that. Yes, I came, and I was surprised. My family, my husband, my daughter, and I have 50 relatives in Sacramento area, and they had planned a big dinner party for me as a surprise. So that made me calm down. Oh my God, I'm 80. So thank you very much to all of you.
So we had all those difficulties, planned and unplanned, and people getting sick and all that. But so as we went through all of those together as a group, so that is where bonding happens. So that is something tangible that I felt. And from the places, I think you saw the picture of the house of Lahiri Mahasaya. So it was powerful to see that house on a tiny little street and a door with the sign Lahiri, which is where Kriya Yoga got disseminated into the world. That was a powerful moment. And then at a few places, like the banyan tree of the Puri, where he meditated for the last 50 of his 300 years of life. So I felt a little bit of something there, and that you saw the picture of the tree where Ramakrishna was dealing out liberation, so that was also a powerful place. So it was a nice experience. Thank you.
Yeah, I think with the passing days, I get to feel more and more the effects of this experience and this pilgrimage. It was really profound, and it was unexpected. Just on the way there in the plane, I got sick the very first day of the pilgrimage. And I usually don't get sick. If you know me, I don't get sick. So it was a surprise. And then throughout the pilgrimage, I wasn't feeling 100%, even until the end. I even got even more sick. But I don't mean to say it a lot, but just to make my point that even though my body wasn't well, it was incredible that I could feel so much love and joy and magnificent. I don't know how to explain it, but it was there, even though my body was I was sleepy, I was tired. And when we got to these magnificent places and holy places, I was just uplifted. And these feelings are still with me. after this trip. After it's over, I mean, it's not over. It's definitely, I feel like I'm changed. Like I feel I'm carrying, I'm different. Sri Yukteswar's ashram, we all hear the stories of Sri Yukteswar being like very, what is the word? Stern? Oh no, it's like, I felt so much love there, like incredible. Since going, there are so many, like looking at the pictures now, like so many places that we visited and so many details. Every place had something like special. It's amazing. And just going over the pictures and feeling how blessed we were to be there and to be able to feel and be in these holy places where so many masters have been and walked and slept and like, touched the bed where Yogananda slept. Like Sri Yukteswar slept. Like it was like, meditate where Yogananda meditated. Oh, it's priceless. And to this day, I still feel blessed. I still feel like I'm so happy that I went. And definitely the relationship with the masters have changed. Like I have now more of a deeper friendship and connection with them and reverence. Yeah, very powerful. Thank you, Sai Ganesh, for organizing it. And thank you, everyone, because someone will share this, but we had more challenges. And as a group, it was incredible to see everyone rising to them and making even like a fun moment out of it.
So I was the newbie of the group. I come from Scotts Valley, and I didn't know anybody. Well, I kind of knew you. I knew you, yeah. But, so I didn't know I needed to go on this trip either. I'm going to 15 countries. I've already been to 8 since September. And Yudhishthira called me and says, you need to go to India. And I said, oh, okay. So I looked it over and I said, I guess I gotta go to India. And I showed up to SFO and by myself and I said, hi, I'm your new friend. But I've been traveling by myself and I plan to travel the next 8 more countries till September, pretty much by myself. And I really wanted to go on this journey by myself, but I realized what I've been searching for through these travels is family. And I found Ananda in 2010 when I really needed family. And I'm searching out losing my husband, and my parents are getting older, and what's my life gonna look like by myself? And just being with all of these people, it was just like, it was amazing. It truly, you guys know it. But people meet in the seat, forget it. We go out in the world, we come back. And even coming here on a regular, I don't come here on a regular basis because I don't know anybody. But now they're all, you gotta come. We know you. So that's my first thing, is the family element. And Amit, she'd say, I'm awake and ready. She was awake and ready. And then just always being calm and poised through each of the elements that were changing at every minute. And watching Saganesh, like, okay, pivot, and never being like, you were so calm. You were just amazing. I mean, I want you to know how stressful. I've done things like this before, and I was always like, first of all, I'm happy I'm not doing it. And second of all, I'm so happy to be with someone who's just so calm that we all stayed calm, which was huge. And then just being in these places, we're just like, Okay, the horns. There was a lot of horns that I never expected. So the first time I'm like, is there some celebration going on? And the next morning I went, hey, Saganesh, I'm going to invest in horns because there's a lot of horns there that I had no idea. It was just amazing. And it just felt like I really needed this experience. But I needed it more for the love of all these people. I mean, Master's always talking about love, and I just brought it all back that I feel so loved here, and I feel so loved by all of you and all of you. So thank you so much for this journey. I appreciate it.
When I first met Swami, it was through listening to his and watching his lectures online and reading his books, and especially listening and singing his music. And that first initial impression was just, his consciousness being just without bounds, just infinite. And when I moved here and got to see a couple of his last lectures in the Bay Area, and I saw his physical body, it was just very underwhelming compared to what I had initially felt him to be. And it felt very like it didn't match. Like, how could this infiniteness also be in this frail little body? And that was kind of the beginning of opening up to, instead of it being this or that or either or, a bigger, greater understanding of it's both and. God is, everywhere in the greatest size and also in the smallest form. And it felt like the pilgrimage also had that component, for me at least. God being everywhere, but now is a chance to practice deeper devotion, more personal devotion, to going to the specific temples and worshiping and devoting to specific idols. And it was a really wonderful, fun practice to deepen one's devotion in a more personal way. And that's what the overall feeling of the pilgrimage felt to me. It was just a pilgrimage of devotion, as some have already spoken on, just so much love. And to be able to experience that for, a lot of us up here, maybe a little bit more, experience that more naturally. And so to experience everywhere we went through the eyes and through the experience of others, it just helped get in that bhav. And so that was probably the biggest takeaway, just the feeling of greater and greater devotion, and specifically into the form, so that, just a better, well-balanced feeling of devotion into the infinite and also into the form. And it was just quite special to have a deeper experience of that. So thank you, everybody, for helping me experience that through your experience as well.
If there's time, I don't need this. If there's time, I might share more at the end. But the one thing I wanted to say, now sitting here and listening, and this was come up in conversation in the last week for me. I was even talking to David Gamo today morning. It is so beautiful how everybody is talking about this aspect of love that was felt so significantly in this pilgrimage. As you all know, I've been on the receiving end of a ton of prayers over the last 2 weeks, and I'm doing very well. My throat does sound like this. It's probably going to sound like this for at least a couple of more weeks. I think my larynx was affected. It was not that I was terribly sick. It just sort of it sort of blew into something that was more than what I was actually experiencing. But it was more that it was something some of us had contracted, but also I had not paid attention or taken care. And suddenly I realized after 10 days of it that I was actually sick and I had to take care of myself. But the only point that I wanted to make right now is, it has been coming to me more strongly, especially when I was in my parents' home after the pilgrimage was over. There is obviously the reality of India, the chaos, the crowds, the pollution or whatever it is. But when you actually experience something so deep and profound, a kind of love that you have not felt before, there is a way in which your physical body is somehow not equipped to handle it. In a certain way, people go through a karmic experience that almost does not fall into the norm of how you might function or what you might experience. So especially in this trip, there were so many highlights early on that I could even feel it coming, that it was almost like everybody's cup was overflowing so much, but also just that transformation that was trying to happen needed to break through even sometimes symptoms in the physical body or whatever it was. May or may not make sense to all of you, but it is certainly true for any of you who have been to pilgrimages. You already know what I'm talking about. I just wanted to share that because a lot of us go to India. A lot of us go to India on trips, have families, have work trips and such. Nobody comes back every time saying, oh my goodness, I had bronchitis, I had pneumonia, I had like this or that. I mean, sometimes. But I think what we experience during a powerful, transformative experience like this is much more than anything happening on the physical plane. It's happening somewhere else. And it's just so hard to even grasp with our minds what it is and what it means to our lives. Before going further, why don't you share? Of course, there are more of us on the pilgrimage that couldn't physically be here. Navashan will share briefly from Yudhishthira, who is right now in Portland, coming back tomorrow or tonight, I don't know. So
Okay, from Yudhishthira. As we made our way to Varanasi, I was struggling to make sense of the ups and downs in my responses to our many spiritual destinations in Puri and then in Varanasi. I'd been sorting things in my mind, great meditations in some places and less than great in others. We were at Ananda Ma's ashram in Varanasi, and I was feeling a bit confused at the seemingly random, deep experiences at unexpected places. Totapuri's ashram, for example, was profound, and the less dynamic experiences at Yukteswar's or Lahiri's sacred places. At Ma's ashram, I was deeply moved by the devotion of the person performing the puja, and in tears when he handed me some prasad. At that moment, I had the realization that the expectations of my mind or the response in my body were not especially significant. What mattered was that my soul was taking in exactly what was important in every holy place we visited. At that moment, I was more aware of myself as spirit than body and mind. After that aha moment, I stopped rating my reactions to each sacred place. That isn't to say that some locations definitely felt powerful, sometimes even unexpected. Mother Teresa's mission in Kolkata caught me totally by surprise, so deep and still around her tomb. And the YSS property near Dakshineswar was utterly and unexpectedly inspiring in its deep stillness. One last reflection was that I prayed for others consistently in every sacred spot and every hotel room. That practice was enriched equally by the sacredness of every single pilgrimage destination. I have never felt so divinely supported in praying for others as I did during our pilgrimage. Of course, there were also marvelous adventures on the material plane that others will doubtlessly share. The traffic, the bus ride, the carnival ride quality of the tuk-tuk adventure in Dakshineswar from Kali's shrine to the YSS sanctuary, and our laundry drying in public on the streets of Varanasi.
Prashad sent a brief note. Prashad, he could only be with us for a brief part of the pilgrimage. He had to change his plans for many other reasons, practical reasons. He just sent a brief note that I'll share. I was very glad to be on this pilgrimage. I most enjoyed visiting Kolkata. I feel that the Tulsi Bose Shrine is the most sacred pilgrimage place that I've been to. Visiting India is spiritually fulfilling, thrilling. However, we are also all aware of what tapasya that the experience can bring. It struck home that there is perhaps no getting around duality. I love the trip. I want to read Rita Giwala's also. Rita is still in India. She'll be returning in a week or two.
From Rita, this is my second pilgrimage with Ananda to India, and it was as wonderful as the first one. I want to thank Sai Ganesh, Shivendra, and Daya, and Keshava for all the energy they put into making this an unforgettable pilgrimage. Visiting Tulsi Bose's home, meditating in the rooms Master meditated, and the satsang with Manash Mukherjee, visiting Master's home and the places in Puri, the boat rides, and the arati on the Ganga in Varanasi, all had such strong vibrations that even now I just have to close my eyes and relive those moments. I feel even closer to all my Guru Bhais. I am so blessed and thankful to be part of this spiritual family. Many, many thanks to you all.
You know, it's very hard to pick the one place. I would say each place was just life-changing. You know, first of all, I wouldn't visit alone there, or even Sai Ganesh, I wouldn't go to India because the experience of the whole group, I felt really safe and secure, and it's just thank you for that. Because the streets of, you know, in India, it's just like a war zone, I would call it. Because you run and Ganesh is saying, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Like, go, move it. Like, and Evelyn said, you know, you just run, you know, and you like to a place, you know, just running, and then you like, and then peace. It's just like, oh, I'm safe now, and I survived. And then in your bliss, you know, and go through experience. That was really amazing. I would say this life-changing, for sure. The Puri, it just was history in that place. It's like, the energy was like so huge, like overwhelming. It just, I don't know, it was even intimidating. It was Shiva, right? He was, yeah, I guess that's why. It was intimidating. I'm like, kind of like, it's wonderful, but it's, I don't know. And Mother Teresa, we just went there just because I was very curious, but I didn't expect that's going to be so much powerful, like mind-blowing energy there. It just, I really like didn't expect that. Definitely place to visit. What else? Sarita Ghosh, she's quite a character. She has so much energy and so much love for Master. She's like quite inspiration. The way she was speaking about Master, it's just like, I want to be like her. That's how I want to feel the way she feels. She has so much faith about the way she spoke about Master, just like, you know, yeah, of course Master will do that. Yeah, of course this, you know, the way she speaks with him, like, you know, well, of course his family, but still, she's like, she's talking about him like as a god. What else? In Varanasi, not Tralinga Swami. Ananda Ma. That was like so much love there. Like it's just so gentle love. It's hard to explain. It just needs to be there. Yeah, and I would say if you want, like, you know, I'm so close to masters now, and I know them. Going too late, I feel like it's not enough. I was not that connected to masters how I connected now. It's like if you want to know Christ, you have to go to visit Israel. The same, if you want to be closer to masters and know them, you have to visit, you know, their places in India. So yeah, it's life-changing.
Like Nivedita says, it's so difficult to say. Everything was so special. So I think I will start with the group. Of course, thank you, Sai Ganesh. You give me a great, great gift. Shivendra as well. And it's a bonding, very special bonding, and that I have with all the group, with each one of you. I know more and more everyone because we share some laugh, cry, we chant, waiting to see if we are going to fly or drive in the bus. So we were just waiting and trying to see if I can go and buy water, if the brand was okay for me to drink it or not. But we share so many moments that they are in my heart. And it's looking at Saganesh, Shivendra, as well Dayan, Keshava, how they manage so many challenges that go through. And I was like, oh my gosh, you can learn just watching how they behave and the calm and everything. But since I arrived to India, for me was like, this is a completely different energy. A dream comes true. I want to visit India since I started the yoga path many, many years ago, like 26 years ago. So I am like, finally, I am here to say thank you. And the energy, even the noise and the horn, and I was like trying to understand why they horn so much. Finally, I get it. I say, it's a way of communication. It's nothing that. It's very kind and soft. It's just say, excuse me, I'm coming. For me, the drivers are like, they need to go to Formula One because they are amazing. They never hit anyone. They don't. It's amazing how the flow can go even in the cows. So for me, that's a lesson. It's the cows, but they flow, they are fine, they are great. So I love India, I love the people, everything. You can walk and the cow and the colors and everything is like, I was so happy there. And even though we have health issues for some days, I was lucky not to get sick from my stomach, that I was very worried, but I have the worst migraine in my life. And the way I feel, with the support and the love of everyone, and as well when they get sick, it's amazing. It's like, yes, we are a family. We are here together, and I am very grateful for that. So, and the places, oh my gosh, it's so much devotion in everywhere. And for me, it's difficult to put in words because it's experience. It's like an internal experience. It's energy that is difficult for me to explain to you, but it's changed my life. It changed in the way that this energy that I felt, that I, thanks God, I still feeling, and I feel like auras, this energy of master, of Yukteswar, stay with me. And I say the other day to Andrea, I know, I want just to keep this like very protected, no? So I need to focus more in my sadhana and everything. Of course, to be with Master's family was a great gift. As you can see, I confused. I think it's the great-great-great-grandson or something, but the little boy, he's amazing. He was so cute. But all the family make us feel really like a family. Since we arrived, he say, I know you are sick, choose the room. You just can go and lie and rest. Do whatever you want. This is your home. And it's incredible how humble they are, how generous they are. And for me, it was like, wow, just places that I just want to go and live there, like in Master's house and also Yukteswar ashram in Puri. It's like, oh my gosh, I want to stay here forever and ever, because I really felt in that moment, no time, no nothing. It's like the time stopped. And also I was very amazed that even the cows and the noise and everything, every time we get into an ashram or temple, no noise, peaceful, calm. I was like, oh my gosh, we're in the middle of these cows and it's nothing inside. So that was like, wow, it makes me, yes, I'm still thinking about all things. I think India has so many things that every day I will discover something else. But I enjoy seeing the little thing to the biggest thing. So thank you so much. And I will go with you many times to India.
Thank you very much. Yeah, even I agree with that. So every time I'll go with Sai Ganesh, it's no more. You can stay peacefully and calm and you can enjoy also. Thank you very much for everything. So I went to India many times. I born and brought up there. So I always felt Ananda is different world and India is different world. But in this trip, I felt both are merging together. And I felt so wonderful with that. You know, with all my Ananda friends, I'm roaming in the India streets. And they're feeling so excited about it. And I felt so wonderful about really. Another thing is like, I always dreamed of staying in the community, how it will be when we wake up with the people who pray to Master all the time, all these things. So, in this trip, it was possible, that 15 days I really felt so much. Everywhere I can see people who love Master so much, and they're so deeply connected, and they all pray to God. So looking at them and getting inspiration, that made big difference. So that's what I think, these 15 days I feel, I always forget them. It's like a memory in my, I can't say memory, it's I can keep in my heart and visit whenever I want to, some inspiration or something like that. It changed, it brought a lot of transformation. So my thinking, and I felt so calm inside now. Now, before even starting the trip also, I was doing a lot of things. Immediately after going the trip, I felt sick. So that day I was thinking, why, I came all this way and I felt sick. That whole day I took in the rest in the hotel room and just listening to Babaji continuously. But after that, I felt so energetic, and I know why I took that break, and I enjoyed each and every moment. And no thought of past or future also. In the moment, I felt that thing actually, being in the moment. So I never thought about what is happening tomorrow, because morning anyway itinerary will come. So that time I will see what I need to do. And I didn't think about anything else. Initially, before going to trip, I was thinking how I am able to stay, because, I never stayed without Anish, without my son, this many days, and how they will stay and all. But after I started, I really didn't think about all those things. So everything, Master took care of. And every place is wonderful. I can't say which one is good and which one is not. But most touching thing is Varanasi. Because, I always scared to go to Varanasi. I've heard about a lot of stories about that. But because of my fear of death, I always thought, I never wanted to go much to Varanasi. But as soon as you enter into the Varanasi, that fear goes away. So it's so calm and so energetic. Calm, it doesn't mean we hear all these noises, but inside you feel that vibration, very positive and very strong. That's when I realized why everybody talk about Varanasi, why it is such a strong place on earth. So after going there, I didn't feel that death is really bad or any sad, anything like that. So I never, usually if I go to any cremation or anything, it takes some time for me to come back to normal thing. But in Varanasi, if you see those burning gods or those funerals, you don't feel that, it's sad or anything. I felt opposite actually. Because all those souls may be happy because they left this body and they're going to reunite with their source. So I feel that positive energy there, even in the burning gods. So only joy there even in the burning gods. So, and especially we went during the Kumbh Mela time, everywhere the devotion is flowing. So Ganges is wonderful. I couldn't take dip in the Ganges, but it's wonderful. So I want to go back again and again to Varanasi, I feel. So thank you everyone for this. I felt each and everyone, the love of the master, and that's what united us in that trip. I feel. If I see back now, I didn't feel any ups and downs at all. It's like a whole experience. Nothing is down, nothing is up. Everything is wonderful. Thank you very much.
So I also got a little bit of the crud after I got back, so that's good because it will keep me a little quiet. But some of you might know I made several trips to India, and all the timing worked out perfectly for what I needed. And I have come back with just such an incredible love for all of these people, and something that I had already mentioned and that Asha mentioned this morning. It's like when I look at people now, I see them different. It's like I see them from this compassion and this oneness and the light in everyone. I'm changed. And she also said, you don't really have to go anywhere for these discoveries. But there is something about going to India. And I made 4 trips, and it like comes up through the soil, through your feet. And I'm very grateful that I got to go and I got to be with these people. And I love all of you, and I love all of you. And I just have to pay for all these trips now. But other than that, I'm in just such gratitude.
Yeah, well, I agree with everything you have said, and for me, this was a dream come true. Like being in India and feeling this energy, and the most special thing for me was feeling Master's presence. As soon as I arrived, it was the first place was a Tulsi house, and I felt him very close to me. Like I had a beautiful experience there, and it was the beginning of this journey during 2.5 weeks that it was like my first time being just focused on my inner path, and it was a gift. And not only feeling him there, but his family, our family, and spiritual family, and his physical family, being with his grandson. Well, yeah, like he's been in Puri with them, feeling their love, their devotion for Master and for us. Like they were I felt welcome and like embraced, and like sharing, living the teachings. It wasn't about talking about family and spiritual family, but living it. And not only with them, but with the group. We had different challenges, as we have told before, but they weren't challenges at all. They weren't like opportunities to apply those teachings and to help each other and, being inspired by every one of us. So it was a beautiful experience. And, well, in Calcutta, the Tulsi house was beautiful. In Puri, just Puri was amazing, a sacred place, the beach, being there meditating, practicing yoga, and visiting these beautiful places. Sri Yukteswar's ashram was amazing. And in Varanasi, a beautiful experience. The power of the Ganges is, you can feel it. And Ananda Majima's ashram, for me, it was beautiful. And I think that what I keep from that pilgrimage is love from everyone and masters. Thank you.
I couldn't believe that I will be able to go because I was going through a personal situation and accumulating all kinds of papers and everything. But finally, when I was into the plane with everybody else, it was something else. And then I landed to Calcutta, where I grew up. I spent 40 years there before I came to United States, so I was accustomed to the life there. But this time, the horn and the pollution really affected me. I thought, well, this is not, it's kind of difficult. But there was one plane of this difficulty and the grace. They were going one direction, the difficulty and the grace. They are flowing and they're merging in somewhere. And then the experience of different shrines. First we went to Tulsi Boshe's shrine, and then we went to Puri, and then we went to Varanasi, and we came back to Kolkata, and all of that. So the grace was riding, and it was very palpable in all of us' heart. And the thing happened that we faced many difficulties and our flight canceled. But through that, Sai Ganesh and all the other leaders kept their calm, and Nivedita also helped. And everybody tried to match that energy. So it was beautiful to see that how the grace is flowing and everybody is holding their energy to achieve what they have come to achieve, the divine presence. And in the Jagannath temple in Puri, that's a huge temple, and everybody says that all of your prayers come alive there. And then Eloisa, one of us, was trying to go into the temple, and there was this paradox that she may not go in, but she was very decided that she will try her hardest. And then I prayed to Jagannath that, well, you give us a sign. She's trying to go in, let her in. And sure enough, she went, and she inspected everything, and she came out. And then I said, well, now I see that you are talking. So, so I prayed to him that then your presence be real in our lives, that we can feel you, we can draw you near every moment, you be with us. And then the Puri, our stay in Puri ended. The hotel was very good. That has a wonderful swimming pool. A lot of us swam there. We had some pictures in there too. And then we came to Varanasi, and the first thing I saw is the white birds landing on the river softly. It was so simple and so uplifting, and it was taking us to a different level of reality and beauty. And then, of course, we went into the river over the boat, and we left that little bowls with flowers and candle. And I thought, what is the purest thought? What is the purest prayer that can last, that I can live with? So again, I prayed that the presence of the divine be real in our lives. And then we came back to Kolkata again. We went to the Kali temple in Dakshineswar, where I grew up. I used to go very often there. And the hibiscus flowers and all the devotees there. That is a feeling of uplifted joy, the presence of the Divine Mother. And also we went to the Uddanbati, Kashipur Uddanbati, that Sai Ganesh explained, where Sri Ramakrishna came into, that is 1st of January 1886. He came into full exalted state, and he granted wishes to all of his disciples. They are from family. They are not renunciates. They were huddling there trying to see the master because he was going through the cancer. And these disciples, they had different wishes in their heart. One of them wanted to see Sri Ramakrishna in every being. So he was granted that wish. He saw Sri Ramakrishna in everybody. In his office, all the people were Sri Ramakrishna. And then he prayed, take this back because I cannot keep this. But Sri Ramakrishna was kind enough to give him this experience once or twice a day. So, like that, every disciple got his wish fulfilled. So we had a chance to stay there near the tree and pray that the most intimate and lasting prayer in our heart. And then, in the same experience of, that is called Kalpataru Day, the renunciates were making his bed and making Sri Ramakrishna's bed at that time. And these disciples who were outside, they were calling the renunciates, come here, the master is in full exalted state. But they wanted to make his bed, make his room clean. They did not want to leave his service. So all of that experience came upon us. And then in the end, I get to stay a few more days in the Tulsi Bose's shrine and assimilate all the effects of all the different shrines. And it was a wonderful experience. And when I came back, I was not the same person anymore. Where thinking of the life reality, it kind of lifted me slightly up. I was not the same person anymore. So I thought that the main core of our life is trying to be in the presence of the divine, which all of us, I think, felt close to our heart. And thank you, everybody, and especially Sai Ganesh, Nivedita, and all the other leaders that have been there.
I'll just share a couple of closing thoughts before we finish. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, everybody's very... I have a microphone, it's okay. Everybody is very generous with their praise of me, but truly, this is sort of an experience that is so beyond one person. Or Shivendra, of course, and most of you may not know him. He's from Delhi. He was my partner. He was my rock of support. He was a co-leader, doing everything with me throughout the trip. He'll be here in the US over the summer, so you'll get to also meet him. I just wanted to add just a couple of small thoughts before we finish. Evelyn started by talking about the miracles. You know, it is so hard to describe some of the things that happened in this pilgrimage that are so beyond anything that I have experienced ever before in my life. Even all of those changes that people were talking about with the flights and the itineraries, and so much of, you know, maybe someday I'll get into all the details of that story, but we were sort of witnessing things that were so hard to believe. Like every door that closes, the flight is canceled. We were trying to at least find a room for people to sleep. We were all decided that there is no way the group is going to be able to be together. And Daya, Keshava, myself, and Shivendra, we were all on phone with every possible travel agent all over the country. And suddenly, and there were so many options in front of us, none of which were working. Every door was closing shut. And they were all so beautiful. I don't think I was calm, but I don't think it was calm because I knew what was happening. It was sort of like, we are all in this together. But they were all so beautiful. We were all right outside the airport. The flight was canceled. They couldn't enter the airport. They're just right there, standing in the sidewalks, chanting for 2 hours. That's what everybody was doing, and we were all on phone trying to scramble. And suddenly, one moment, it was like all of a sudden the cloud cleared, and we were told what to do. And suddenly the rooms opened up, the bus opened up. It was not the plan that was in the itinerary. It was so far from anything we had planned. It was a completely different plan of where we were going to go, what we were going to do, what mode of transport we were going to take. But it was just revealed to us. The other beauty of the whole experience was how close, which was for me certainly something that I had not experienced before, how close we all felt with different members of Master's family. They all were connected with Master in a different way, but the closeness that we felt was something that I had not personally experienced before. I mean, I had known Sarita and Somnath Ghosh for many, many years. I've spent time with them in the US. I've visited them many times in their home. But just everybody, Ishan's family, Manash, his family, all of them, I kind of knew who they were and what they were all about. But it's just the kind of heart connection we felt with Master's family was something that was so out of this world that I think I'll really, really cherish. I think it's something that will continue for all of us too if we visit Kolkata again, but certainly I hope to stay in closer touch with all of them because it was very, very special. I had no idea how much in their own heart they saw us as family, people that they've never met before. It was not just being a gracious Indian host. There was something so much more than that, where they felt really this connection with all of us that was so beautiful. So before we finish, any questions, comments, thoughts that anybody has that they want to ask or share? We have a microphone we can pass around. You don't have to, but just I want to make sure you have the opportunity to say anything. It was all, some of us obviously contracted some symptoms, but I also have to say it was, compared to what even the previous pilgrimage and other pilgrimages I've been, it was sort of on the subtler side of things. We all somehow did very well during our pilgrimage itself, and it's been lingering for a little bit, but I find that to be part of the blessing also, because the amount of energy that we were feeling, it's so hard to go through all of that while also keeping your physical body together. It was something that was inevitable given the nature of all our experiences and what the pilgrimage was. So if there are no other thoughts or comments from anybody, we will end with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, beloved God, great Gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahasaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, Paramhansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, dear friend and guide Swamiji, bless us always. Help us dive deep in our meditations to feel your living presence, guiding our every thought and action. Expand our devotion, deepen our attunement. Help us feel close to you. Help us feel close to each other. And always remember that we are yours, waiting to come home to thee. Oh.